All right, everyone get ready, because today we're going deep into a magical world.
A world of magic and self-discovery.
Yes, with Willow the Gender Fairy and the Whimsical Journey by Rock Jane.
Oh, a great choice.
It's a 10-book series, but we're going to cover the highlights.
A great series.
Not your average fairy tales, though.
Not at all.
Big themes here.
Yeah.
Identity, acceptance, courage, all wrapped up in these really whimsical adventures.
What really stood out to me was how the author uses fantasy as this tool to explore these really complex and sometimes sensitive topics
Right.
in a way that's engaging and accessible for younger readers.
For sure.
It's like sneaking in.
I was just thinking that.
A lesson on empathy and understanding under the guise of magical adventure.
Like hiding the vegetables in the mac and cheese.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's jump right in with this first book, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Whimsical Journey by Rock Jane.
Sounds good.
We meet Willow, our fairy guide, in the land of Willowbrook.
Okay.
And she meets Alex, who is on this journey of self-discovery.
You know, what's interesting here is how the author goes beyond just stating that gender is this internal feeling.
Okay.
Willow takes Alex on this journey beyond Willowbrook, and they encounter this whole spectrum of individuals who challenge traditional gender stereotypes.
So it's not just like, hey, this is how it is.
No.
It's showing.
Exactly. It's a visual
So
representation of the diversity of gender identity.
That's really clever.
Yeah.
And impactful, I think, for young readers.
Absolutely.
Speaking of impactful, book 2, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Magical Transformation by Rock Jane. This one really dives into the theme of self-acceptance with Billy's story.
Oh, yeah. Billy's story.
He's struggling with his gender identity.
Yeah.
And Willow helps him kind of navigate all those feelings.
And it's such a relatable story.
It is.
Even for those who might not identify as transgender.
Yeah.
Just this feeling of being different or not fitting in.
Oh, for sure.
It's something that resonates with so many children, and Rock Jane handles this with a lot of sensitivity. Billy's journey isn't about changing who he is.
Right.
But finding the courage to be his true self.
Exactly. And that's a message I think that's important for all kids to hear.
Absolutely.
Now, book 3, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Magic Star by Rock Jane introduces Jackie, and Jackie is on a quest for their own identity.
This one is a bit more action-packed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we've got a lost star riddles to solve playful sprites.
Wow.
But what stood out to me is how this fantastical quest is used as a metaphor for self-discovery.
Okay.
Yeah, the journey to understand one's identity can be full of twists and turns.
For sure.
It's not always easy,
Yep.
but ultimately it's about finding that inner spark.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's like a treasure hunt.
exactly.
But the real treasure is self-acceptance.
That's it.
Now, book 4, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Enchanted Friendship by Rock Jane. This one seems to focus more on community and friendship.
Yeah, it takes us back to Willowbrook.
Okay.
And we see Willow and Alex making new friends who are also on their own journeys of self-discovery.
Very cool.
And what the author highlights here is that embracing our individuality doesn't mean we have to go it alone.
I like that.
Having that supportive community friends who accept you for who you are can make all the difference.
So important,
Yeah,
especially for young people
absolutely.
who are trying to figure out where they fit in.
It's huge.
All right, before we move on to the next set of books, I got to ask about book 5, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Secret of Fairyland by Rock Jane.
Ooh, fairyland.
Fairyland. Who doesn't love a good secret magical world?
Right.
So what kind of adventures do Willow and Alex find there?
Well, it's not all sunshine and rainbows in fairyland.
Oh,
They uncover these ancient prophecies, hidden magic,
wow.
and they even have to face some challenges.
Okay.
But ultimately, the book emphasizes the importance of kindness and friendship,
Good.
even in a magical realm.
Ah.
It's a reminder that those values are universal and essential no matter where you go or who you are.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's so consistent with the themes that we're seeing throughout this
Yeah,
series. So we've explored these first 5 books, and it feels like each one kind of builds on the previous one,
It does.
layering in more complexity and nuance.
For sure.
So what can you tell us about the next part of this magical journey?
You're right. It does. And the next 5 books delve even deeper into some of those themes we've already touched on.
Okay.
For instance, Book 6, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Gift of Hopeful Magic by Rock Jane. This one revisits Alex.
Oh, from the first book?
Yes, who we met in the very first book. And Alex is now living as a transgender boy
Okay.
and navigating those challenges that come with that transition.
And that's interesting. We get to see kind of the evolution of this character.
Yeah, it allows the readers to really see the complexities of Alex's journey over time.
What really stood out to you about this book?
Well, even after transitioning, Alex still faces those moments of self-doubt and struggles with self-acceptance.
It's not just a, overnight fix.
No, it's not a magic fix-all. And I think it's really important for young trans readers to see that, that transitioning doesn't just make everything perfect.
Right.
And Willow guides Alex to the Enchanted Isle in this book.
Okay.
And that's where they discover the power of hope and self-belief.
It's like a metaphor for the,
Yes.
internal journey.
Absolutely.
Finding that strength.
Yeah.
Self-love.
Mm.
You mentioned this book delves deeper into some of the themes.
Yeah.
Does that mean the other books follow a similar pattern?
Yes. In a way, the remaining books revisit some of those core themes, but with new layers of complexity.
Okay.
So, for example, Book 7, Willow the Gender Fairy, and The Quest of Enchantment by Rock Jane, this one features kind of a darker tone as this, shadowy force threatens the magical land of Helmholtz.
Oh.
Willow and Alex have to embark on this quest for the legendary wishing star, facing all sorts of obstacles along the way.
Classic fantasy trope.
It is, but it's used to explore something a little deeper.
What's the real treasure that they discover?
Exactly. It's not just about finding the wishing star, it's about the journey itself and those challenges they face.
Right.
And so the author cleverly weaves in these life lessons about resilience and self-belief and the importance of standing up for what's right even when it's difficult.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm curious about Book 8, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Starry Saviors by Rock Jane.
Okay.
What's this one about?
In this one, Willow and Alex venture to the Enchantment Isles, searching for these starry saviors who hold the key to restoring balance to their world.
Right.
What I found fascinating about this one is how the quest emphasizes the importance of diversity and teamwork.
I love that.
Each starry savior has this own unique ability.
Okay.
And they have to learn to work together to overcome the darkness threatening their world.
Strength in unity.
Exactly.
I love how these fantastical elements are used to convey these really powerful messages about, acceptance and inclusion.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Book 9, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Quest for the Lost Harmony by Rock Jane?
A lot of quests.
I'm sensing a theme here with all these quests.
Yeah, you're definitely picking up on that.
So tell me about this one.
So in this one, the realm is divided.
Okay.
And it's up to Willow and Alex to find that lost harmony.
Okay.
What's interesting is that the book goes beyond simply saying friendship is magic.
Okay.
It explores those internal qualities that are needed to bridge divides.
Right.
So we see empathy, resilience, kindness, and active listening as really important.
Like how to actually put that into practice.
Exactly.
Not just a magic wand.
Not just a wave of the wand.
Yeah, you really have to put in the work.
Yeah, it's about the work of understanding and connecting with others.
And the author is really encouraging, young readers to think about how they can create a more harmonious world, both within themselves and in their community.
Absolutely.
It's both.
It is.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
So that leads us to the grand finale.
Yes.
Book 10, Willow the Gender Fairy and the Rescue of the Courageous Dragon by Rock Jane.
This is it.
Most action-packed to the series.
Oh, yeah, this one's intense.
Trapped dragon and an evil sorceress.
Willow and Alex are facing their most perilous adventure yet.
What's the ultimate message in this final book?
This one brings together all those threads that have been woven throughout the series.
Okay.
We see Willow and Alex using everything they've learned about identity and acceptance and courage to face this final challenge.
Okay.
Rescuing the dragon becomes a symbol of liberating those who have been silenced or oppressed.
Wow.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's really about the importance of standing up for what you believe in, even when you're afraid.
That's a great message to end on.
It is.
And it sounds like the author has crafted a really epic conclusion to this series.
Very epic.
That leaves readers with a lasting sense of hope and empowerment.
For sure.
And what a journey it's been,
It has been.
Exploring these 10 books and all the amazing lessons they contain.
A remarkable series.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does.
About how these themes go way beyond childhood.
Absolutely.
Now, if any of our listeners are thinking, this sounds awesome, but where do I get these books?
Well, the good news is the entire Willow the Gender Fairy series by Rock Jane is available on Amazon.
Nice. So it's super easy to find.
Very easy to find.
I know, I'm adding it to my list, and I bet a lot of our listeners are too.
Me too.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I keep thinking about what you said earlier about these books not just being about escaping.
Right.
They're really about, starting these important conversations.
Yeah, and fostering empathy.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this series so unique.
Yeah.
It gives us this framework for talking about these really complex and sometimes sensitive topics.
It does.
In a way that's engaging and appropriate for, younger readers. But it also goes beyond that.
It does.
It encourages them to think critically about the world and their place in it.
Right.
And how they can make it better.
Yeah, their role in creating this more inclusive and accepting society.
It's like planting a seed.
It is.
Introducing these ideas in a fun way so that it can have this ripple effect.
Absolutely.
Spark those conversations and inspire this new generation.
A new generation that embraces diversity.
Yeah, and challenges these outdated norms.
I love that.
And as we end our deep dive today, I want to leave our listeners with a question to think about.
Okay.
We've been exploring this magical world of Willow the Gender Fairy.
Right.
But how can we bring these ideas about identity and acceptance into our own lives outside of the book?
Yeah, that's a good question.
How can we all be more like Willow in our own communities?
Yeah.
Fostering empathy and understanding in the real world.
It's a great question, and it's something I hope our listeners will really take some time to reflect on.
Me too, because, even though our deep dive is over,
right,
this conversation is really just beginning.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
So until next time, fellow deep divers, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that magic of empathy and acceptance alive.
In your hearts.
In your hearts and in the world. And don't forget.
And don't forget.
Willow the Gender Fairy series.
Available now.
On Amazon.